It's just trying to find a way to win, trying to find something, a way to get back and accomplish something I never accomplished before. I don't know what it felt like to win the Super Bowl. I know what it felt like to be there, but I don't know what it felt like to win. I feel like I accomplished a lot in a short amount of time in this league. The only thing I'm lacking now is trying to, being a world champion, but, to get to that point, we got to win this week. So we focus on the 49ers and trying to find a way to, to beat them, to get to what we're trying to get to.
This building wants to win for Aaron Donald to create more mystique to his legacy and what it's done. Our people in PR, our people in community relations, our people in the football office, the ops, everything that we have, the training room, his players, his brothers. We want to win for Aaron Donald.
Yeah, look, Aaron Donald, one of the great players of all time, a guy that every other team that did not take him should have taken back in the 2014 draft, I think it was. The Lions are the team that should have taken him. The Vikings should have taken him. The Rams got him. That's the irony, if irony is being used appropriately in that context, of the Rams giving away all their first-round draft picks now to acquire veteran talent. One of the best players in franchise history was acquired with a first-round draft pick that they did not trade away in Aaron Donald. And they all want to win it for him. So as we go into this weekend, let's do a little take your pick. Player or coach under the most pressure this weekend, Myles? Who you got?
Before I get to that, one other thing about Aaron Donald, the funny thing is, and the maybe even more ironic thing, is that he was selected at 13 overall when the Rams also had the second overall pick and used it on Greg Robinson. So that's one thing that sort of gets left out of the discussion on Aaron Donald. The Rams also passed on him first. Anyway, so first guy I would say that is a player or coach under the most pressure this weekend, speaking of the Rams, is Sean McVay. Look, you've got a hand-picked quarterback in Matthew Stafford that you traded for over Jared Goff. I mean, to get to this point, right? But also you've now got to go against this team that you haven't beaten in 6 consecutive tries. You almost had a chance to keep them out of the postseason in general back in week 18. It's only a few weeks ago. And so now you also have the chance to play a Super Bowl in your home stadium. And let me tell you, Stan Kroenke did not spend all that money to watch the 49ers play in his stadium on Super Bowl Sunday, when the Rams also have a direct chance to do it. So this is a big, big, big game for the Rams and Sean McVay.
Boy, that is a great point. And getting to the Super Bowl in the stadium he built, the first Super Bowl ever played there, the first of what will be many, goes a long way toward making up for the $790 million that he had to pay St. Louis for absconding away from Missouri in a way that violated the rights of the local governments there. I'm going to say Jimmy G. It's obviously Jimmy G. He's under so much pressure, he's not under pressure. Right? Like, everybody knows he's under pressure. And really, I mean, like, seriously, nobody expects anything out of the guy. I think the Rams are going to do everything they can to take away the San Francisco running game and dare Jimmy G to beat them, and maybe he will. But I just think that he has so much to gain, and he's admitted that it's been a big issue for him. It's been a distraction. I really do think there is pressure there, even though he's so obviously under pressure. Best matchup of the championship weekend, Myles, who you got?
Give me Jamar Chase against the Chiefs secondary. I mean, in that last game that they played earlier this month, he caught 11 of his 12 targets. That's an astonishing number to only get one pass that you were targeted on, and you didn't catch it when there were 12 of them, at 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also caught that 3rd and 27 for 30 yards with about 3 minutes left in the game that put Cincinnati in a position to win. Look, I don't think he's going to have that kind of game against Kansas City this time. I mean, the good thing for Kansas City is that it looks like Tyrann Mathieu is going to be able to clear the concussion protocol in time for that game, because who knows what would have happened in that game against Buffalo if Mathieu had been out there for most of the game. He left the game on that first drive after suffering that concussion. So they need Mathieu in order to protect against what could be a big, big day for all of those receivers. But I don't think it's going to be that big from Jamar Chase, but, man, I want to see it.
I say that the matchup I want to see is Deebo Samuel against anyone who dares to get in his way. He is one of those guys on the 49ers that is the roll out of bed and kick your ass roughneck that they have found. John Lynch, the guy who epitomized that style when he was playing. I mean, you think about it. They don't have intense practices like they used to. They don't practice tackling to the ground. The 49ers have a bunch of guys who are badasses who don't need to practice being badasses. They just are. And Deebo Samuel, Kyle Shanahan the other day went on and on about how he embraces contact and, he's just such a violent runner, imposes his will on you. The Rams are going to do everything they can to take away that 49ers running game. Good luck doing it when Deebo Samuel is running downhill, as he always seems to do. Underdog more likely to pull off the upset. The 49ers over the Chiefs, or that would be an upset. The 49ers over the Rams, or the Bengals over the Chiefs. If the 49ers were to beat the Chiefs this weekend, something very unexpected would have happened. Who's more likely to pull the upset?
Yeah, no doubt. I would have to say it's the 49ers. And at this point, I'm not sure how much of an upset it really would be. Again, the 49ers have beaten the Rams in every game that they have played going back to 2019. And they play 2 games a year. And, in some of those years, 49ers weren't even really that good. So I think that at this point, it's really not that much of an upset if the 49ers beat the Rams, and they certainly could do it, especially because they're going to have at least 50% of the crowd behind them at SoFi Stadium.
It is astounding when you think that the 49ers have beaten the Rams 6 straight times, and yet the Rams are favored by, at last check, 3.5 points. I think the 49ers are more likely to win the game. And you're right, the secondary market has been all over the 49ers. And last time around, Matthew Stafford, as his wife said, had to use silent count, and the 49ers did not. What is the best possible Super Bowl matchup of the 4 permutations we have coming out of this weekend?
Give me Rams versus Chiefs. I know that so many things are different than when those 2 teams last played in 2018. But I still have memories of that game that roll around in my head, and I just feel like that game between those 2 offenses and those two teams who have such really, really good interior rushers. I mean, Aaron Donald, we already talked about, but also Chris Jones on the Kansas City side. I would love to see that matchup, Mike.
See, and this is nostalgia for me. I want Bengals 49ers round 3 from 40 years ago when they got together after the catch game when the 49ers beat the Cowboys, and then Super Bowl 23, which was one of the first great Super Bowls, because the Super Bowl used to just be kind of a boring afterthought. Some of the games were good, but it felt like there were a lot of bad ones. That was a very exciting one with 49ers won late. I want to see that one again, and I probably would be pulling for the Bengals to win their first Super Bowl ever if it came to that. All right,
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.